The trailer for this film looked great. I was looking forward to it, but I was disappointed. Adam Driver is a fantastic actor, but he couldn't save this. He does his best to fall over and grunt for 90 minutes, basically. A sci-fi blockbuster in 2023 that's only 90 minutes? Yeah, I should have known something was up. I shouldn't have been fooled by the trailer, but I was. I thought that they were creating mystery and suspense by hiding the dinosaur action for the film. Why would a studio do that in 2023? They wouldn't, of course they wouldn't. In actuality, it became quite clear not 20 to 25 minutes into the movie that they didn't have the budget to pull off a sci-fi dinosaur epic, and that's not what this was going to be. They weren't hiding the dinosaurs to go for some sort of suspenseful tone in the vein of Ridley Scott's Alien. They were hiding them because the CGI is lackluster. Because of this, the action sequences are uninspired. They go to a lot of effort to avoid showing the dinosaurs because they can't afford to. Lots of dark scenes, quick jump scares. Apparently, a lot of people actually think this film isn't that bad because they had such low expectations, but I guess the concept intrigued me so much that I set mine a little too high. You'd think they'd take the Jaws approach. Whilst hiding the shark, the script builds rich characters, but they don't. This is nowhere near as good as A Quiet Place, but they clearly hired the writers of that film to try to copy its formula, but it doesn't work here because there's no reason for the characters to be silent. The two main characters in this film speak different languages from each other, so there's basically no dialogue, and no dinosaur action, so the movie is just boring and predictable. It's a damn shame that such a great concept was wasted. A man in a spaceship crash lands on Earth 65 million years ago when the dinosaurs roamed. I would be willing to suspend my disbelief about the fact that he speaks English in this film if the film was great. And it could have been. There's so much that you could do with that concept. Where did he come from? Is he a time traveler? There's really a can of worms there. In A Quiet Place, it's easier to believe that there is a connection between the characters because they're family. But the girl in this is not Adam Driver's daughter, so you need to go that extra mile to create a bond. But if they can't talk to each other, then you can't do that. This is why I think the film should have been longer than 90 minutes, because they do have one or two scenes where they try to have the characters bond in a purely non-verbal way, but it feels like a lackluster and undercooked attempt. It's also clear they spent all their money on the last action sequence, because it looks pretty good, but it's staged pretty badly. It's great if people enjoyed this film. They didn't put a lot into the marketing. It just kind of came and went like many of these schlocky kinds of films did back in the 90s. It's not a god-awful, unwatchable film, but I think that the concept was so great that it called for more. And Adam Driver's better than this. Look no further than his performances in Star Wars and Marriage Story. There is so much negativity on YouTube that I always feel a bit icky ragging on films. It's hard to make a film, I know that, especially with limited materials. A lot of people spend a lot of time and energy on these things, and that's why I pay to see them in a cinema. So I'm going to stop here and say that my point for making this video was to really say, hey, I loved the concept for this film. I just wish that the studio had more faith and lent more of a budget to it.